Know your place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
As soon as One Punch Man aired, the community started asking questions on whether Saitama could take on Goku, and much like the screw attack influence fights of Goku vs Superman before it, the community wholeheartedly backed Goku when it came to this outcome. Even at the beginning of One Punch Man, where all we know is that one punch will annihilate any being, the community held fast on the fact that Goku would come out on top, without any evidence to the contrary. And now Dragon Ball's newest big bad is getting a similar treatment with Saitama. People are asking Saitama versus Jiren, who would win? And this is a question that really only has one answer to it, but it's a very complex answer and it's got a lot of layers to it. And obviously Jiren would win. And at this point in the video, you may be asking yourself, why even ask this question? Well, I wanted to ask this question because I wanted to get to a deeper root in the Dragon Ball fandom and touch on why we wholeheartedly back these characters over every other single character in every other anime. Let's first get to the heart of this question. Saitama versus Jiren. Who would win? Well, if we were on episode 1 of One Punch Man, I would wholeheartedly tell you that Saitama would win, because of the fact that it is essentially a gag story at that point. A hero that can overcome any odds and destroy any enemy with a single punch, gaining these powers through an exercise regime that most people can do at home. But with the One Punch Man series finale come and gone, the answer becomes more clear. Saitama really isn't a 100% gag character at heart. He has limits, and they are shown at the final battle between him and Boros. Now, wherever you rank Boros on the Dragon Ball scale is up to you. I'm not gonna get into that in this video. What I will say is that the One Punch Man, Saitama, could not one punch Boros, and that speaks volumes. That means that One Punch Man doesn't have a magical ability where his punch annihilates anything. Essentially what is happening throughout the majority of the series is that he is punching creatures that are extremely weak compared to him. So essentially they cannot stand the force of his punches and explode. If any of the Dragon Ball characters had done that on Earth to any of the normal citizens that walked around Earth, they would do the same thing. They would just explode because they could not handle the force of these punches. And so what we see at the end when he faces his final foe in season 1 of One Punch Man, he has to hit this guy several times before he is destroyed. And even Saitama has energy to spare, but he certainly has a limit, and he doesn't have this magical ability that allows him to destroy things. It is just how powerful he is. And to be honest, even though his strength at the end of that season is astonishing compared to any other anime, when it comes to Dragon Ball, we've seen things like that, even more powerful versions of that in even Dragon Ball. And so when it comes to Jiren, a character that has been confirmed to be stronger than a god of destruction, a god that can easily destroy half a planet by touching it, the strength that Saitama shows at the end of season 1 really is nothing compared to what Jiren can do, or most of the characters in Dragon Ball can do at this point. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge One Punch Man fan, but you have to look at reality, and the reality says that One Punch Man, Saitama, he is essentially at the end of season 1 on par with characters all the way in the Saiyan saga, and he may not even be on par with characters on that level with the strength that he showed. If he showed more strength in season 2 of One Punch Man, maybe in that season we'll see what the limits of his strength is, and if he can push beyond those to get even more powerful. And if he does, then maybe he can reach the heights of some of these other Dragon Ball characters. But for that we'll have to wait for season 2. But going into the second part of why I made this video is because Dragon Ball fandom seems to back the Dragon Ball characters versus any other characters in any other universe, even going into the DC universe, even going into the top dog of the DC universe, which is Superman. They would back any Dragon Ball character against those characters no matter what. And the question I want to ask is why? Well, it's actually quite simple, honestly. Power Plateaus have already been assigned all the way back in Dragon Ball and early Dragon Ball Z. Master Roshi has blown up the moon. Piccolo has blown up the moon. These two acts show that these characters in their infancy, or all these characters in their infancy, have the power that surpasses any character at this point in any other anime. And so these feats of strength push the Dragon Ball community to have this confidence in their characters that will make them back them against any other character in any other universe wholeheartedly 110%, and that is a valid reason because these are no easy feats. I would put these feats on the same level or similar levels as when Boros kicks Saitama into orbit and he hits the moon. This scene showcases what Saitama might be capable of because he takes no damage when he does this, and he even is able to survive in outer space. And that is One Punch Man's first power plateau in my book. And that is something that I want Season 2 to build on when it finally gets here. And that is the reason why it's so much fun for the community to debate when it comes to Saitama versus any of the characters in Dragon Ball on what the outcome might be, because One Punch Man is really the first true anime series in my book that has come close to really getting into the same playing field as the characters in Dragon Ball. We really don't know the depths of Saitama's power. We don't know how strong he is at his limits. Those are my thoughts on this subject. Saitama versus any of the characters in Dragon Ball at this point, it's a moot point because we don't know the extent of Saitama's strength, and we know that there are limits to it. So he is not almighty, all-powerful, and his one punch is not a mystic or magical thing that can destroy anything and everything that comes before it. If that were the case, then people probably would still back Goku in the Dragon Ball community, because that's just how we have been bred since we were little, watching Dragon Ball and early Dragon Ball Z, seeing these huge feats of strength, calculating them against every other anime character, and including Saitama himself, and realizing that yes, there are really no characters in any universe that can contend with Dragon Ball, and that is why it is so popular, and that is why it is a worldwide phenomenon. But anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit a like button. I will love you guys forever. Subscribe if you haven't already. I put out news, spoilers, discussions, and theories every week. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.